Ladies and gentlemen, my name is RUFFLEDLIVE and welcome back to a brand new video, guys. So today I want to talk about specifically what the possible evolutions might be for the brand new Pokemon that have already been revealed for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. Now, the games are really close to release at this point, and what these things might possibly evolve into, well, it's really up in the air at the moment. So I thought we'd take a look at some of the possible IDs, starting off with actually my own personal thoughts for the original 3 Pokemon revealed. And which one am I talking about? Well, Lechonk, Palmy, and Smoliv. What they possibly could look like if they evolved into anything or something. In this case, here's what they would look like. These are my thoughts personally that I had my artist friend the Drake make, and he put together these kind of showing off a general idea of what they could turn out like. And as you can see, my thought for Lechonk was that it was going to be kind of a almost like whitish brownish mixed kind of pig with a sort of I don't know, big snout, and just generally looking a little bit, thick, if that makes any sense. As for Palmy, I imagined it to be larger with big paws, and in this case, we kind of already know what Palmy's going to look like when it evolves. Like, we have a general idea from one of those leaked images, but for Smoliv, we don't really know anything in terms of what it's going to truly look like. We just know it's going to have to do with some, it turning into some form of a tree with more olives connected to it, but we don't really know exactly what it's going to be like just yet, so we're currently just waiting to see how that's going to turn out. But that was, of course, my personal designs that I had designed for myself for this video, but we do also have some other stuff from other people that I think is worthwhile taking a look at, so let's start with that. First up is this design by Elisteva, who put together Chancharon, which would be, I guess, the idea of his for what Lechonk would look like. So basically, Chancharon is mixing the words chancho plus chicharron, which is basically just a mixture of those two. And this is a Pokemon that basically would be a little bit more aggressive than regular Lechonk. It would be, an aggressive boar almost, if you want to call it like that. Like, basically just more of an aggressive version of Lechonk, if you want to, look at it that way. Also, what I do like about its design, if you kind of look at the back of it, is that it kind of has almost this like these scars that make it almost look like a piece of bread, which is really random, I know, but I do think it looks really cool. And yeah, you still have that general feeling of Lechonk, but looking more badass in a sense in this design. Another concept is by Onduregion, and Onduregion kind of drew Porquop, which is a, I guess, ground dark type in this case, and what we see right here is it going all out on the ground typing. So we already know that Lechonk has kind of a smudged up face, because you can see in its original design that it's kind of got smudges on it, but right here we go all out. It turns into a big chunky boar that's standing on 2 legs, but it's using the mud. It's like got this mud that it's had on its face before, because what Lechonk is based on is like kind of this idea of like these I guess truffle snout pigs, right? These pigs that go out and actually are used by farmers to find truffles, which are very expensive. I'm not really sure if I should call them mushrooms or what exactly, but they're underground, so to find them, you either use a pig, which are very good at finding it, or a dog. Pigs, I think, were actually better at finding it, but they would end up eating the truffles, so that was kind of one of the issues, hence why they use dogs more nowadays. But having the idea of it basically digging up this dirt and that being a part of its design now, I think is a really cool concept. The other possible design here is also by Ondu, and this is something we kind of already know. So we've been told by a legitimate leaker, that being Riddleku, that we should expect a, I guess, version of Lechonk's evolution to be kind of, I guess, feminine with almost like a kind of, I guess, if you want to just put in a layman's term, kind of clown makeup type design on it. And that's kind of what you see right here. So basically, it's one of those concepts, or that idea of like, putting makeup on a pig, which, just kind of this weird saying, so to say, that exists. And this ID here basically gives you that exact concept in an actual form, so you can see what it genuinely would look like, and that's what we see right here. And the final design here is by Arcane Lloyd, who put together a more of a simple concept for what the piggy could look like, which is Iberoink. Iberoink, more or less, is just a larger, more battle-scarred, and slightly more dirty version of the already known Lechonk, right? And this thingy would be a normal fighting type in his, mind in this case. So we pretty much see that, like, regular Lechonk, of course, normal typing. This thingy, normal fighting typing. And the previous design we looked at was like, what, a ground, I guess, dark type, which, yeah, fair enough. But what do you guys think about this one? Let me know in the comment section down below. That was all for Lechonk. Now let's talk about Fidough. Fidough is a brand new Pokemon that was recently revealed, and this thingy is a little dog. It's basically a pastry dog. So the idea of its evolution is that it probably should be based on some form of food or some form of bread. And this design right here is by Mazon Fakemon, which is a Fidough evolution. Now, I don't really know what the name for this one would be, but basically having it be almost like a fairy fire dog that's like, you know, kind of, I guess, like actually the dough now being cooked and like actually, you know, becoming bread rather than just being a doughy little boy. This actually is a really cool idea in my personal opinion. I love this, and I want to know you guys' thoughts on it. The other design here is from Ondu region again, and this is Dognuth, which is a fairy fire type as well, and it's the Baker dog Pokemon. Now, this one would have the Aroma Veil or the H Intimidate ability. This Pokemon is difficult to find in the wild as it depends on contact with a fire type Pokemon, so that Fidough's yeast is cooked, allowing it to evolve into Dognuth. Now, Dognuth keeps its body warm so that not to harden. This causes it to release a sweet scent from its body, attracting all kinds of Pokemon. So this is a cool concept that literally it is the dough of the Fidough that would have to require some kind of fires or fire Pokemon in close proximity to make sure that it can actually evolve, or maybe even a Firestone. I think it would be really cool if you were to give it a Firestone that would then like activate its evolution, and then it will turn into a fairy fire type dog straight up, which I think would be really awesome. We actually do know there will be more dog Pokemon, as has been leaked by the Riddler-Coup. So we know there are more dog Pokemon going to be in here, but we do also know that Fidough is getting an evolution. How it's going to look like though, that's a big question. But I think this is a really cool idea for what it could look like. Next design here is by Mazon again, and now we're talking about the Paldean. We've been saying Galarian for so many years now, but yeah, the Paldean Wooper. So Paldean Wooper is getting a brand new evolution. We're not going to be getting a Quagsire form. Rather, we're getting a brand new Evo rather than Quagsire. That's as far as we know though, at least. But here's an idea that I think is really cool, which shows you kind of a beta version of what they kind of were thinking for Quagsire back during Gold and Silver's development. And this shows you kind of what that could look like and how they could make a Quagsire evolution that kind of mimics that design. I think it's highly possible. We've already seen and we have proof that they have brought back old designs. Like, for example, Surfetch. That was a Pokemon design that they already had back in the Gold and Silver era. There's actually a literally existing design of it out there in the past that we've seen. And guess what? They reused that concept in the future, aka for Pokemon Sword and Shield. So the idea of them reusing an old concept or idea or design is highly possible. But that's not the only design here available though. There is other options. Another cool concept is this one right here by Elasteva, where he put together Toxolotl, which is basically his prediction for Paldean Wooper evolution. And unlike Quagsire, which is based on a giant salamander, he wanted to base it on the following amphibian species. A species of Cecilia, which is a snake-shaped semi-blind amphibian that has some poisonous species in it, and an Olm or a Proteus, a species of primitive amphibians that live in the subterranean aquatic habitats in Europe and that have the appearance of an axolotl, which is what it's originally based on, but elongated and blind. These animals are also called baby dragon, so it would be interesting for the Fakemon to have access to the dragon type attacks such as Dragon Dance or Outrage, a reticulated siren or a siren reticulate, another very rare and recently discovered species of amphibian, which is characterized by its large size, for only having two small front lips and gills even larger and more showy than those of the axolotl. So basically, those are the things that the concept here is based on. I personally love it. Your guys' thoughts and opinions would be appreciated on this one. Let me know in the comment section what you think about it. And the final design for Wooper's possible, or Wooper's guaranteed new evolution, is this right here, Grimmire. So this is also from Ondu region, and this is a poison ground Pokemon as well, the Mudfish Pokemon. This one is pretty much accumulates huge amounts of poison in its sacs on the front, and this one kind of keeps the idea of Quagsire almost a little bit in its concept. It still feels a little bit Quagsire-y, even a little bit Swampert-y with those hands, but nonetheless, it keeps that concept alive still, but a little bit different and changed enough that it doesn't feel like an actual Quagsire, but still something brand new. But what do you guys think about that? I mean, we're not going to be getting Quagsire, a new form. We're literally getting a brand new Pokemon evolution for it. But what's that really going to look like? There's a lot of possibilities and things that they could turn into, but we're still waiting to see what that's going to be like. So you guys' thoughts will be appreciated on that. Next up is the design by my boy Subarashi, who put together a pre-evolution for Cetitan. Now, Cetitan is a Pokemon that we know about already. It's been revealed to us, but we do not know if it's going to have an evolution or a pre-evolution. We don't really know that just yet, or if it's a single single stage Pokemon. That's something we aren't truly sure about. However, I will point out that we do know something else, though. There's supposed to be a dolphin Pokemon in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. However, we don't know if that dolphin Pokemon is related to Cetitan. So, it could be possible that Cetitan might evolve into a literal dolphin, which I don't think is possible because it's more or less based on a whale. However, here's a cool concept by Subarashi, my good old pal, who basically put together an idea of what it could look like if Cetitan had a dolphin pre-evolution of sorts, which I think looks pretty awesome, and you guys' thoughts would be appreciated. And next is another design for what a Cetitan evolution could look like, and this one is from Dark Sylvania, who put together what it could look like if it evolved, and I personally love this one. Basically, this would be Leviathan, which is an Ice Steel type as well, and it would more or less be a larger, more brutal version of it, and this one is specifically based on Moby Dick, which is often represented as a giant white sperm whale, and its name comes from the Leviathan Melville, which is a prehistoric giant whale named after Herman Melville, the author of Moby Dick. So basically, it's just a giant, big old whale, and in this case, it gains like front leggies instead of like little arms that it can like actually stand on. And personally, I'm a big fan of this design. It actually might be my personal favorite out of all the ones on this list so far. And the final design for this video is again by Ondu Region, and this is for Smoliv, and we have Oiliviant. Oiliviant is a just grass normal type in this case, and is the oil Pokemon as well. This one in this case is kind of like what we would probably imagine Smoliv to evolve into, a almost like feminine-esque design that's standing up as a tree and has multiple olives on it, or multiple Smolivs if you want to say it that way, actually connected to it. I mean, we've already seen Pokemon like Dragapult have mini versions of itself on its actual like design, so the idea of having mini Smolivs on top of this like evolution of itself, I don't think is too incredibly, unrealistic to imagine. So, again, you guys' thoughts and opinions will be appreciated on this. And ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it for today's video, guys. If you did enjoy it, then drop a like down below. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next video. Peace out, and bye-bye, ladies and gentlemen.